Bubblegum Simulator is one of the oldest and most popular simulator games on Roblox ever, having over 1 billion visits with nearly 80 updates being made in a span of 3 years. And now that the official sequel came out, over 3 years after the last update in the original game, so I thought it would be a pretty good time to make a video like this. So the original game came out on the 23rd of November 2018, but I think the history of the game actually begins before the release. So we're going back to the early 2018, or to be more specific, on the 10th of February 2018. The reason I'm bringing this game up is because it was also made by Rumble Studios, and it was, from what it looks like, the first simulator game on Roblox to have pets. This game successfully created pets in a way that we see pretty much any simulator game use them nowadays. The pets have different stats, and will help you once you equip them. The only difference between Bubblegum Simulator pets and Mining Simulator pets was the way you get them. In Mining Simulator, you would need to buy the eggs, equip them, and then go mining. And only after mining certain amount of blocks, the egg would hatch into a pet. But then we got a different player in the game. Pet Simulator came out, and this game was the first one to introduce us to the modern grind and hatch loop gameplay. Here instead, you need to grind for coins and then hatch the eggs. And unlike in Mining Simulator, here hatching eggs was way easier, allowing you to fully AFK hatch them for hours, and that is exactly what people did. That is also one of the reasons this game became so popular. So the reason I've told you all of this is because Bubblegum Simulator was a combination of those two games with some new things to it. Bubblegum Simulator would release on the 23rd of November 2018, and would become the next big simulator game on Roblox. Here, you needed to get coins, hatch the pets, and unlock new islands for better stuff. The pet stats were similar to Mining Simulator pets, while hatching was the same as in Pet Simulator, and the entire game having its own twist to the gameplay. Instead of walking and unlocking new areas, you had to blow bubbles and unlock new islands. It felt like something new, and people loved it. You could tell that just by seeing the amount of videos made back then and the amount of views those videos were getting. And what was making this game even more fun are the updates. The first ever secret pet, the Overlord, was actually a secret, because nobody knew it even existed until someone randomly hatched it and showed it on public. That was making the game more interesting, with trading also being added to the game. With more updates, the game got more pets, and more secret pets such as Leviathan and Giant Robot. Those two became the most valuable ones in the entire game, by the way, due to how rare they were. But since the game was receiving more pets, players wanted to know how fair their trades were. So now the value lists started to exist, and sure, they looked pretty ugly since they were made in Google Drive, unlike the modern value lists, which are clean and easy to understand. But they would show amount of value different pets were worth, which also made trading much easier, just like in the modern days. Bubblegum Simulator was one of the few early games to have a community that would be making value lists for it, since the game was getting bigger and more people wanted to try and trade. And since now value lists existed, some YouTubers even started to make trading videos, such as Dog Eat a Secret. These series became very popular, getting many thousands of views. They were successful enough for people to repeat the trend themselves, or even do it in other games such as Pet Simulator X. But back to Bubblegum Simulator itself. July 20th, 19 and all the way until January 20th, 20, the game had content problem. So basically, the game was barely getting any new content at that time, with only one update every month. It was like this, but 2020 is when the game had a comeback. Suddenly, the game started to get more updates again, I will say even weekly updates for some time, which made the game feel as alive as it was on release, with new content being given to the players. This made the game way more relevant again, getting many thousands of players, which showed that even after months of barely any updates, the players were still hyped to return to the game. And with the game getting more updates, it became more and more about hatching, with more secret pets being added. And this is where the hatching videos enter the scene. From what I understand, they have never really been done before, and Bubblegum Simulator was the first game to have the type of hatching videos we would see today. Mayra Sharp played a huge role. He started to make hatching videos and noticed that the view count was high. That means people liked the idea of hatching videos. So with time, he started to try and improve those hatching videos, and now he would hatch with many accounts. That is pretty much what he still does sometimes today. What I'm saying is, Bubblegum Simulator was the first game to have these kind of hatching videos. They became very popular, and I feel like any Bubblegum Simulator player back then have watched or at least knew about them. And since we're talking about hatching, let's continue with the game again, because it actually got an update that would change hatching. The 57th update added some changes to how hatching is, and it improved it. Auto-hatching used to be locked behind a game pass, but now it was completely free, meaning anyone could AFK hatch, even on a phone. Deleting pets also became easier now and completely free to play. All of this meant that people could now easier AFK hatch for pets, and wouldn't need to spend Robux to do so. If you were to check player count, you can actually see how it instantly increased thanks to this update. And what's also interesting is how the average playtime time increased as well. That is because more people could AFK hatch now, and as I said, it was just easier to do so. That's why the playtime increased. And this not only changed hatching in Bubblegum Simulator, but in the future games as well, since it was very effective when it comes to increasing games analytics. And now I want to go back to the trading and values part of the games community. Value manipulating was a big problem in Bubblegum Simulator, so big in fact that even in the official server, one of the rules states to not inflate values. I will use Alpha GG as example here. He had his own value list in Bubblegum Simulator and he could use that. This is what I like to call the Top Hat incident. Alpha GG made a video about why Top Hat secret pets should be worth more. There wouldn't be any problems with that if he didn't actually trade for them in a video that was posted just 2 days prior. This kind of stuff could happen sometimes, so people were putting less trust on value lists, since who knows, maybe the owner decides to manipulate the values. Another big thing that was in Bubblegum Simulator is duping. Duping happened very often and would have many problems. The game would trade ban anyone with duped pets sometime after getting them. But the issue is, when trading, you would never know which pets are actually duped and not. This would lead to many trade bans because of duped pets that people were unaware of when trading with someone, since they do not look any different. And after all of the things that happened in the game, it's time for the final year for Bubblegum Simulator. 2021 only had 10 updates. Also, fun fact, the update 69 never happened due to it being a funny number, so it went from update 68 to 70. The final update was a Christmas event one, with the famous Coming Soon egg, which has been here for longer than the game has been updated for, in a way that's kind of funny. And then, after almost 3 years, the official sequel has been announced by Isaac, who's the owner of the studio. And some more time later, it finally released. After years of waiting from the fans, they have gotten what they have waited for. The sequel has many things from the original game, since it was meant to be nostalgic. And that is where the story ends so far. And there is only one way to see how it continues. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, consider liking and subscribing. I would really appreciate that. You can watch one of these videos while waiting for a new one. They are good too. Join my Discord server. You can chat with me and other members. The link is in description, and I will see you soon.